Hello everybody. Welcome back to another session on Python programming. In the yesterday's session, we looked at how Python program runs. We also understood the concept of PVM, Python virtual machine. So that was very important kind of understanding that we need to have, because it is not like C++ program. It's a different story altogether when the program really runs. So we had a brief introduction about those things. In addition to that, we also discussed yesterday the Python prompt. We saw how a Python script can be executed if you are in Linux by typing Python 3, and if you're in Windows by typing Python. We also saw in the process how to install Python. We also saw in the process how to install Python. So those are the things that we had seen yesterday, and we also discussed what's the downside of Python. But the most important part for yesterday's session was how Python program really runs. So what is the topic for today's discussion? Today, we plan to start off with the alternate implementations of Python. I told you there are various flavors of Python, and one needs to be aware of all these flavors of Python which are available, all the Python distributions which are available. And why do we need to be aware of it? Because your project will demand that you need to use some or the other flavor of Python depending upon the way you are developing that particular project. So let's understand what are the different or alternate implementations of Python which are available. So you all are here to learn Python, correct? You all are here to learn Python. So if I ask you, which Python are you here to learn? Can anybody give me an answer for this? Yes, if I'm asking you, which Python are you here to learn?
Python 3.
Louder?
Python 3.
Python 3. That too Python 3.11. Yesterday we installed Python 3.11. Python 3, if you say that's good enough, because Python 2 was very different than Python 3. So we are learning the latest version, Python 3, whichever may be the version of Python 3. But we are going to work with Python 3.11. I request all of you to turn on your cameras, so I know you're not sleeping. Okay. All of you are requested to turn on your camera. Piyusha, Prithviraj, Shantanu, Shweta, Sunita, Bhagyashree. Everybody should turn on their cameras. Shantanu and Shweta as well, and Sunita as well. Okay. I need to see you by so I can recognize you. Who are you? Otherwise, if we meet on the way or somewhere, I'll not be in a position to know you. You may be smiling at me. That happened with me. One day I was in the parking of a mall. One student was like smiling at me. I was wondering why this fellow is smiling at me. Then he comes over and says, "Sir, I'm so and so." I said, "Okay." When I hear you, that I can identify who are you. Okay. That's okay, Sunita. So let's start off with alternate implementations for Python. My question to you is, since you have joined the course, what programming language are you here to learn? Sanjay went on to say, I'm here to learn Python 3. That's the version of the language. But the Python implementation that we are actually going to work with is C Python. So the technical name for the Python that we all are going to work is C Python. So what exactly is this C Python, and how is it different than Python? Now, whichever Python that I'll show you, the language will remain the same, but the underlying implementation of Python language will change. What do you mean by that? Let's explore this. It is the original and most maintained implementation of Python written in C. So I call Python as a sugar-coated C. That means if you look at the implementation of Python language, it is entirely implemented in C language. It is entirely implemented in C language, a bit of C++, C language. So for us, we have ready-made implementation of C. Say you're using some Python library. Internally, it's a C language program that's actually running. And we feel I'm running a Python code. We are running a Python code, and to support that behavior, internally, it's a C or a C++ program that is running. So this original implementation with Python Software Foundation Maintains, PSF. Remember this short form, sir? एक देखा हमने PYPI देखा था. Today PSF, Python Software Foundation. This foundation maintains the original implementation of Python. It's an open source, so we can quickly go on to GitHub and check the source as well. So this has been written in C language. A new language feature generally appears here first. So whatever the committee decides, what new features should be added in the language, you will first find the implementation of that particular concept in C Python. So C Python is the original implementation of Python which is available for us. It provides the baseline set of tools for working with Python. So whatever the basic standard functionalities that Python promises to provide, they are all provided in C Python. So what you and me will be learning and working throughout this course will be C Python. So if somebody asks you, which implementation of Python are you working on? We are working on C Python. It has its own advantages. It is a bytecode interpreter. Your bytecode is executed by C Python virtual machine. Yesterday we talked about PVM, Python virtual machine. So now let me explain it. We said this PVM may be a hardware, but for us, most of the time, this PVM is going to be a software. And as this name says, virtual machine, it is an abstraction or an emulation of the actual machine. You may have your own laptop or your own desktop. What we have over here is a software which behaves as if I'm the actual machine. We have a software which behaves as if I'm the actual machine. And the implementation of this Python software, that is a PVM, is present in C language. So now, those who know C language, Rohit knows C language, Ashish has learned C language. If you remember, if I write a code in C language, and if I'm working on Windows, so I need to take a Windows-based compiler to compile that C language program. If I'm working in Linux, then some G++ or some compiler which is designed for Unix operating system that we'll have to use to compile that C program. And the output file which is generated by, say, Visual Studio will run only on Windows, and the output file which is generated, say, by GCC will run only on Linux. So if I write that entire logic of PVM, PVM is the Python virtual machine, and the entire program software that makes up the PVM, if it is created in C language, that itself makes it platform dependent. Means if I compile that PVM, the code using Windows-based compiler like Visual Studio or Microsoft Visual Studio compiler, it will run only on Windows. So Solaris, I'll have a different compiler. For Mac, I'll have to compile it again. So PVM code, which is written in C language, is compiled separately for every operating system. So PVM executable file for every OS is different. For every operating system is different. So PVM is platform dependent. Your program is platform independent because your program is running on top of PVM and not on the machine. So if somebody asks you, why are you calling this Python as C Python? Because the code for C Python, that the PVM that the C Python provides, that entire implementation has been written in C language. So if the PVM is implemented in C language, we'll call it as C Python. Don't call it as Python, because there's something else called as Python. Yes, C Python. Have you all understood this? If anybody has a query, please ask. Have you all understood? अगर समझ में आया तो tick करो, नहीं आया तो cross करो and ask the question immediately. You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Sir, can you explain it again? I just missed the
Question
last.
पूछो, question पूछो. वही repeat करूँगा तो आपका जहाँ doubt है वो पूछो. I'll explain.
Sir, the last part.
Like क्या? Question पूछो.
The C Python.
हाँ, question पूछो. That's what I'm saying.
Sir, bytecode interpreter.
Why you are not there yesterday? ऐसा miss नहीं करना है. Bytecode is a set of instructions that the machine understands. And in this case of Python, our target machine on which we plan to run a Python program is the PVM. So bytecode is nothing but, anybody definition, कल हमने लिया है definition of C Python of bytecode. Anybody recollects the definition?
From the code which we write in normal English language that gets
that PVM understands.
Louder. Monica, you said something?
That PVM understands.
तो पूरा sentence में बोलो ना. गाळ्याला जागा भरा काय मी बाकीच्या जागा भरायच्या का?
Sir, what is the question?
What is bytecode? Ashish is wondering what is bytecode.
Sir, it is an instruction set for the PVM.
It is an instruction set for the PVM. That means it is a set of instructions which the PVM can understand. So your Python code that you and me write needs to be translated into a format that the PVM can understand. PVM is the Python virtual machine. And today what I'm telling you is this PVM code. PVM is a software, it's a program. So to create that PVM also will require some language. Shantanu, agar PVM software hai, I said PVM can be an hardware or PVM can be a software. Today I'm going to tell you also about hardware PVM concept. But if PVM is a software, so in which language is that software created? If that PVM has been designed using C language, it is C Python.
Okay.
Shantanu, samajh aa raha hai?
Yes, sir.
So how PVM is also a program most of the time. So how have you implemented that program? That will determine which flavor of Python are we using. So the standard flavor of Python which is available is C Python. That means over here the PVM has been implemented using C language. And remember, C language, what is available is machine dependent. Okay, so let me show you C Python source code. It's a open source. Since it is open source, so source codes are available. Okay, right from day one, PVM is open source. That's the reason we have so many flavors of PVM. We don't have that many number of flavors of Visual C hash or C++ because these are not open source. Python is open source. So let me just take you to GitHub. So if I go to GitHub, we have Python programming language. So if I come to this implementation, look at that. Include file, you will get to see lib files, you will get to see Mac, NIST, PCs, PC build, parser, Python, so on. So if I take you to this include file, you'll find all the headers. Remember, this kind of header files are present in C++. So let's open up one header. Suppose we open up one header called as, say, file utility.h. And you have hash define if, this is Python code. No, it's a C language code because hash define, hash indeed, these are conditional compilation directives that we have in C language. And do you want to see their implementation? So let me not go into the include file. Include is just the headers that are given. These are just the interface which has been given. The implementation of this will be present in either, let's see where they have kept it. Let's look at programs. And these are what extension? Freeze module.c. And hash includes something. Can you see it's a C language code? Can you see that? Static,
Yes,
constant, structure, module, alias, and all the pointers and everything has been defined. And there is a structure or runtime function, runtime init, and all the C language instructions are there. So keep in mind, this entire Python, along with the implementation of all the APIs. APIs are all the features that we use in Python. Those amongst you must have used, yesterday we used a function called as print in Python, correct? The print is a program, it's a function, it's a keyword of that language. It's a something which comes built in Python for you to print something onto the console. Console means your monitor, output device. The code for it has been written in C language. So you may be firing some Python command, and what is running in the background is actually a C code that is there. Or the environment on which that program is running is implemented in C language. And the APIs themselves are also implemented in C language. Then you may be wondering, why is it so? Okay, because C provides you maximum flexibility and best performance. Okay, the only drawback of using C is it's platform dependent, which are for every version you'll have a different implementation that is there. So PVM for Windows will be different, for Linux will be different, for Mac it will be different. That's okay. And these implementations are specific to that host. So you'll have to compile this entire code using a compiler, C compiler, designed for your particular operating system. So when you run that particular code, it will run only on that OS whose compiler you use to compile that particular code. So that was about C Python. Now moving from C Python, we have alternate implementation called as Anaconda. Now what is this Anaconda? Was Python as a snake not enough that now we are going in for a bigger snake called as Anaconda? Okay, this Anaconda is really that big as the real anaconda in the Amazon jungles. So this anaconda that is there, look at this right hand side top corner, you will find the icon for anaconda. It is one of the major popular distribution for Python which is available for those developers who are working with maths, statistics, engineering, data analysis, machine learning. Those kind of applications if you are designing, all the related suits are made available by Anaconda at one place. So everything that one data science engineer will require, machine learning developers may require. So a data analysis, if you want to do, all the related suites of software are made available at one place for you. So we'll also see Anaconda today. Anaconda provides desktop app, the Anaconda Navigator, that makes every aspect of Anaconda environment available through convenient GUI. So if I take you to Anaconda, the size of Anaconda installation is much larger than CPython. Yesterday, what we installed was CPython. Okay, let us quickly see the size of the software that we installed yesterday. So yesterday we downloaded it and then we have installed it. So if you look at this, what is the size?
24 MB.
How much is the size?
24.2.
24 MB at 25 MB, hardly anything. Okay, now let's go
Yes,
to
sir.
Anaconda today. As the name says, Anaconda has to be big, but it provides you a lot of suites. If I go to Anaconda download, on the site anaconda.com, we have free download. It will provide for Windows, for Apple, for Linux distribution. By default, it will be for Windows distribution. So it will start downloading. Let's at least see the size when it gets downloaded. So how much is the size on download?
786.
786, almost 800 MB or 24 MB. Huge size difference.
Yes.
But it is not just the difference in size. It will provide you a lot of tools. It will provide you pandas. It will provide you NumPy. It will provide you htplot. It will provide you sci-fi. All those things that a data science engineer requires. All those things. Yeah, likha hai isne, data science skills for life. Okay, everything that a data science engineer may require, you'll find it at one place. You'll find it at one place. You can go to the resources. You can find out more about them. Okay, you have podcasts, you have videos, we have webinars, and they're really good quality things which are available. If you go to packages and libraries over here, Anaconda, just to read about it. If I click on this package and libraries, why is it taking time? Okay, the top 10 AI platform use cases for the enterprise. So for some reason, this browser has got hanged. So let us just keep this browser aside and continue with our code. And ये download कहाँ तक आगे देख लेते हैं. It is downloaded to some extent. It is downloaded on 100 MB download कर लिया इसने. ठीक है, होने दो उसको. Let it take its own sweet time. But if you are a developer and if you want those modules which are useful for data science engineer, then Anaconda is the implementation that you should look out for. If it gets downloaded quickly, I'll also install it and I'll show you all the tools which are available over there. So you'll not just have Python language, you'll have other tools which are required for a developer to develop application. All of them are available here. All of them are available. So let me show you all the tools which are available in. Can you see that site that I opened up right now? Okay, scientific, numerals, geographic info systems, app building, finance, image and signal audio processing, and visualization, graphical representation. For carrying out all these operations, whatever tools are required, okay, they are all available here. Okay, high performance computing के लिए भी available है. Compilers for high performance computing and distribution computing, developer tools, ELT, cloud-based services, everything is available. So if you are a developer and you are looking out for suite of softwares built around Python for developing application in any of these domains, think about Anaconda. It will not require you to download from 10 different places. Everything is available in one place, and the documentation is also very nicely organized. So if you go to learning, you'll have a lot of documentation that has been. Why is it getting hanged? It shouldn't take so long. But anyway, एक काम करते हैं, download को pause करके देखते हैं. Maybe the download is using too much of bandwidth. Here. So you can go in over here. It says data science portfolio workshop. A lot of things are available. Python for Excel users, AI, तो डेटा साइंस के लिए क्या दिया है? डेटा क्लीनिंग विद pandas, डेटा विजुअलाइजेशन है. ओके, मशीन लर्निंग के लिए पाइथन फर्स्ट स्टेप, जुपिटर नोटबुक बेसिक्स, कोंडा बेसिक्स. So there is a lot of things which are available over here. It's a good resource also for you to learn Python. But this is something that you should explore once you have finished learning Python. It is not something that somebody is learning Python. It's for those who have completed Python, now plan to use Python for some application development. It is for them that you can explore it. In the course, we'll also touch upon Anaconda, the ID that it provides called as Spider. That's my favorite ID. And for most of the course, I'll be using an ID that Anaconda provides. And the best part is there is a GUI, graphical user interface. So there's a click button, like click and compile and things. I don't have to fire commands every time. If I have to debug the code, I can visually debug the code. I don't have to use a debugger or something step by step. I have to do it. So visually, if I can manage it by a point and click mechanism using mouse, that becomes much more convenient. And that is something that Anaconda provides. Any questions so far? Quick feedback. समझ में आया नहीं आया है? Quick feedback.
Sir, so Anaconda is better than C Python.
No. There is no question of being better than C Python. In terms of performance, C Python is the
Yes,
best.
sir. Okay,
But
sir.
why is Anaconda used? It will provide you all the tools and the utilities
Wide
which,
variety of tools.
those kind of developers require. All those things are provided at one place. And to install NumPy or SciPy or anything, you don't have to
Yes.
even type commands, pip install, nothing. It's
Okay.
GUI. You click on it and say, I want it, tick, that becomes available in your application. So that just improves your productivity by making all the tools readily available for you to use while you are writing a program. You are developing using technology like ML or AI, or if you're data science, all the resources, graphical interface, it's a graphical interface, but all the tools that you require are made readily available over here in C Python, in Anaconda. So it's just like to improve your productivity so that whatever you need are all things that you need are made available at one place. That's the advantage of going in for Anaconda.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So if you talk about performance, the fastest performance that is provided normally is the best performance is C Python. C has its own advantages why programs runs faster, and we can actually make use of it. But then there are competitors for C Python as well in terms of performance. I'll touch upon
Yes,
those
sir.
as well. So, yeah, Sunita, क्या query है?
So what is this machine learning?
Machine learning. Today is the age of machine learning. What are you doing right now?
So like I'm an analyst, equity
No,
research.
not professionally. Right now, at 8:36 p.m.
Okay, I'm learning a new language, maybe Python.
Correct. And how do you learn a language?
I have to learn the basics.
Okay, you learn some commands, you learn how to use those commands. I'll demonstrate. As I demonstrate, you will watch those demonstrations, correct? And
Right.
whenever similar kind of situation arises, then you will remember, Arey, Rishi sir already used that. Let me also do the same thing in similar fashion.
Hmm.
You are smart. You can learn from experience. So you're experiencing whatever I'm teaching you or whatever I demonstrate to you, you are experiencing it. And tomorrow, if need be, if it is required, you will use that experience to take your decisions.
Right.
So how about machine learning? So if you make the machine learn with supplying that machine a model and data set and tell the machine, if this is the thing, this is the output. If this is the thing, this is the output. And like you and me as humans learn, we can train the machine to learn and then take decision on its own.
Okay.
Okay. So this AI and ML today are the buzzword in the industry because now machines are challenging us. They are becoming as intelligent as humans. Okay. And
ChatGPT and all.
yeah, ChatGPT and all. And it is we as humans are making them intelligent. Machine is not becoming intelligent on its own. Huh? We are making intelligent. How? We are providing the machine with the examples. We are providing machines with all. What has happened is AI, ML, the technology was there with us since 1950s. But we did not have enough of data which is available to train that machines. But with this advent of AI and all these actions that you carried on your mobile phones and everything, remember all these companies are giving you softwares for free. Actually, for them, we are the product. They're capturing all of our actions. And while they capture all our actions, they are using that actions to train the devices.
Mhm.
Okay, they're using those actions to train the devices. So when we say machine learning, it's like using the information which is currently data which is available in the market today, using that data to train the machines around. So we create models, and based on that model, we actually using that model, we go ahead training the machines.
Okay.
Okay. So this AI and ML, all the tools which are required for AI ML are also provided in your along with Anaconda distribution. So that just makes it much more easy for us to start developing application in AI ML of AI ML, because required tools are immediately made available.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any other question, anybody?
Sir,
Boliye.
sir, can C Python be used for data analysis?
Arey, you're not getting my point. Harsh ne पूछा, is C Python faster or Anaconda faster or something like that.
Okay.
So it's not a question about Anaconda not using C Python. Anaconda, how is it different? It is providing along with your this thing, the language as Python, it is providing you all the necessary tools that you need to develop the application. Those tools are made available at one place.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is not like it's a different language altogether. It's the same language, but the tools that you require to develop these applications are made available at one place. So as a developer, you are more productive.
Sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Sun raha hu.
Sir, so Anaconda is basically indirectly a part of Python
No,
because it is providing all the things
no,
in
it is
one
not
place.
a part of Python. Part se koi matlab nahi. It is not definitely not a part of Python. Can somebody else explain what have you understood about C Python? Yeah, Anaconda में क्या समझे आप?
So C Python only provides a baseline set of tools, whereas Anaconda provides a wide variety of tools.
Okay. C Python provides only Python as a language.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whatever commands which should be present in Python as a programming language. So those
sir.
language features are provided by C Python.
Yes, sir. Only a small disadvantage of C Python is that C is compiler specific, but
No,
Python.
no, that's not a disadvantage. It's a case with Anaconda as well. Anaconda for
Okay,
Unix
sir.
is different, Anaconda for Windows is different, Anaconda for Mac is different. So
Okay,
if you
sir.
go to Anaconda's download, you'll again have 3 different Anacondas at
Yes,
least.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's not a drawback. The issue is, if I'm using C Python, I'll get only Python as a programming language. And all added additional applications. Suppose I want to carry out some statistical operation, I'll have to write a code for it. Or I'll have to import that library, I'll have to install that library and then use it. Correct? And that too, to install, I need to know the command. I'll just show you one thing. एक example दिखाता हूं मैं आपको. अगर मुझे pandas चाहिए और मैं C Python में काम कर रहा हूं, अपने पास तो C Python है, HTTP what we install was C Python. So suppose if I am installing and if I try and use pandas, yeah, I try and use NumPy, none of that is available for me. Let's see, let's cross check. Let me stop this Anaconda download, it's taking too long. अच्छा हो चुका है, complete है. Look at this, 876 MB. We'll also install it. Okay, let me just show you one thing. If I go to NumPy, watch it. If I take you to NumPy, yep, numpy.org. If I go to numpy.org, that's something which we require. Okay. For scientific computing with Python. Huh? So if I have to install this NumPy, there's a module. If I go to documentation, if I have to use NumPy, okay, it says for absolute beginner, user guide hai, sab kuch hai, and I want to use it. Huh? So if I have to use it, and if I'm going to use a method called as arrange, okay, np.arrange, So let's try and use this command. Does this work on my machine? So I'm just copying this and I'm going to try and install it, use it on my machine by starting Python. I'm in Windows, and if I have to start Python, what should I type?
Python 3.
Python
No,
3.
Python 3 is in Linux. Here we just have to type Python. In Windows, we just have to type. Yeah, again. And if I paste this command, it says error. It says NP not defined. So if NP not defined, let me say numpy. It says no, numpy not defined. That means numpy is not available over here. So if I say import numpy, it says no, I don't have any module called as numpy. मेरे पास ऐसा कोई module ही नहीं है numpy that I can use. So if I do not have the module called as numpy, the first thing that I do is I'll install this. If I'm on Anaconda, I'll say conda install numpy if I'm doing it from the command prompt. Yeah, pip install numpy if I'm on Windows. So what I'm going to do is now, since it said this particular module is not there, I'll first come out of it and I'll fire this command pip install. It says pip is not recognized as internal external command. So मुझे pip भी डालना होगा और उसके बाद I'll have to go ahead installing that particular module. I'll have to install that particular module. Until I have not installed that particular module, I will not. कल हमने environment variable में setting किया था क्या? Yeah, that's the reason it actually started running. So I'll have to say I'll have to first install pip. Okay, and after I have installed pip, I'll have to say pip install numpy. Okay, here we go. I'll have to say pip install numpy to install numpy. Let us say if I'm in Python, and here if I say pip install numpy, it says no. Pip install, no, I don't know what this pip is, it says. Okay, so I'll have to first install this. I may have wpip. Let me see, what do I have? Let me exit out of it. So I'll have to first install pip, wpip, and then using that I'll have to install numpy, and only then this numpy will get installed. And once numpy has been installed, then I can actually say import numpy as the np, and then I can start using it. So you have to do a lot of things. पहले pip काम करे अपने machine पे. Currently on my machine this pip is not working. Okay. Currently on my machine this pip is not working. It says unknown command pip. So we'll have to first check how to install pip. Okay, so we have Windows 11 and we want to install pip on Windows. So let's say download get pip.py. Okay, so once we do that, yeah, we can go into package authority over here and we can look into pip documentation. It will tell you get pip.py. That's a software that is available. So you'll have to say Python -m ensure pip upgrade. If it is no, I want in Windows. I'll click on Windows. So it says py -m ensure pip upgrade and so on. So if your Python runner does not have pip installed, there are two mechanisms to install pip supported directly on the pip container. एक है ensure pip है और एक है get pip.py. So first you have to learn this, then you have to install this using this get pip. Windows में क्या होगा py get pip.py. Okay, let's try if this is working directly with me, or we'll have to explore. If I'm saying py get pip.py, कहता है can't open a file get pip.py, no such file or directory. So I'm not having this.
डायरेक्टली सी डायरेक्टरी में किया है.
पढ़ा नहीं, उसने डायरेक्टली से ही उठाया. देखो मैंने पाथ सेट किया हुआ है ना.
Yes.
It says I am not finding this file called as getpip.py. तो अगर getpip नहीं है तो हमें डाउनलोड करना होगा getpip.py. तो आपको getpip.py डाउनलोड करना होगा. So we'll have to download this particular file. There is so much of work that we have to do for one small thing. But अगर आप Anaconda में हो, it is like GUI. वहाँ एक टिक आएगा, numpy पे क्लिक कर लिया, वो इंस्टॉल हो जाएगा. You don't have to do anything. So it will just make you more productive because all the softwares which here देखो क्या क्या करना पड़ रहा है. So I'll have to take this, I'll have to install it, and then using this particular program, then I will be in a position to use it. There is so much of work that we have to do. If I just to install a pip, and using that pip, I plan to run my program. In addition to installing pip in your environment, pip is available as a standalone zip application. This can be downloaded from this particular site. There is also a zip application specific pip version so and so. So available standard application zip application. ये zip download कर लो. ये zip application. Okay, ये download कर लो कह रहा है. directly which can be executed directly by the Python interpreter and command line this thing. Yeah, command दिया कैसे install run करना है उसको. It has given us the examples. So all those things we'll have to do. There is so much of work. And if you're in Anaconda, it is just like graphical user interface है, tick mark करो और अपना काम खत्म कर लो. So that makes you much more productive. So what Anaconda provides, which C Python doesn't provide, is additional suite of softwares which are required for you as an application developer other than Python programming language. What C Python provides is Python programming language alone. Okay, and all other softwares we have to install commands and everything. So you will have NumPy in Anaconda, you will have NumPy in C Python also. I'm going to teach you use NumPy in our course as well. But for that, we'll have to install it. And installation will be from the command prompt by firing all those commands. In Anaconda, it just like click, tick karo chahiye, nahi chahiye, untick karo. So it just makes you more productive. And all the libraries which are available, it will provide you graphical user interface. Abhi apne yahan graphical interface nahi tha, black and white screen tha, console tha. It will provide you a GUI. So that makes your application work much more. You want to draw a graph. So you need some interface. So all those plotting and everything can be done by using the tools that Anaconda distribution provides. Is the doubt clear? So Anaconda is only distributing Python language, not just the Python language. Along with that, all those other suite of softwares are provided to you so that you are more productive as a developer. Machine learning software developer, yeah, AI developer, a data science developer. You are more productive, nothing more. Anybody still has any question? Quick feedback. समझ में आया, नहीं आया?
No, sir.
Sir, but it uses C language.
It uses.
C language, Anaconda also.
You have to go and check on the Anaconda site. What do they use? Okay. My guess, a big guess, is they are also using C Python as for Python as a language. They have just built a interface around it. And because of that interface, it just makes it more convenient to access all other suite of softwares which are available. So it adds to your convenience. It provides you an ID. It provides you interface where you can plot the graphs, hundreds of different types of graphs. It provides you all the libraries which are required for ML, for AI, for data science. All those libraries are available at one place. That's it. Or they are available even without Anaconda. But then you have to search, you have to download, you'll have to install and then use it. Here it's just readily available.
Sir, between Python and C Python, there's only one difference of language, right? C language.
Between
Python and C Python.
अरे नहीं यार, C Python ही Python है जो हम use कर रहे हैं वही C Python है. The
Sir,
actual
वो एक ही type है.
No, Python is a language.
Okay.
Somebody has created the Python language.
Yes, sir.
So those developers who have created Python language have created that Python programming language in C, and that is C Python. So I'll say the technical name for the original Python is C Python.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I thought it is different.
What you and me will be using throughout our course is C Python. So C Python is the original technical, most standard implementation of Python which is available.
Okay, sir.
Quick feedback others. You see a doubt है नहीं है?
No, sir.
So it's the technical implementation for the language. Or I can say it's a more technical name of जैसे है ना medicines होते हैं उसका या plants होते हैं उसका biological name कुछ तो और होता है. वैसा है समझिए आप जो और मैं और आप जो Python यूज कर रहे हैं वो एक्चुअली C Python ही है जो हम लोग यूज कर रहे हैं. संजय क्या डाउट है?
No doubt, sir.
ओके. सुनीता?
No, sir, I'm okay with
तो रिएक्शन चाहिए, टिक मार्क चाहिए अगर आपको डाउट नहीं है तो.
it. Okay, sir.
Okay. So Python Anaconda was just additional distribution for Python language. Yeah? So chief use cases for Anaconda Python are maths, science, engineering, data analysis, machine learning, and related applications. It will provide you convenient GUI. यानी आपको कोई commands fire करने की जरूरत नहीं है. The size of Anaconda is much larger than C Python. We saw that. लार्ज होगा ही ना, वो सारे टूल्स अगर उसने इकट्ठा करके एक जगह दिए। सी पाइथन में सिर्फ पाइथन एज ए लैंग्वेज था, हियर वी हैव पाइथन एज ए लैंग्वेज प्लस एन आईडी प्लस numpy plus scipy plus matplotlib. All those things are provided in one place, bundle. So this bundle will definitely be much larger in size. The next implementation for Python that we are discussing will be available is Jython. Any guess about Jython? Jython.
Jupyter.
No.
Java.
Java.
Yes.
Java.
J stands for Java. So alternate Python implemented in Java, the successor of JPython. So Jython is where the Python, that means the core of Python, the PVM for Python is implemented in Java language. So we call it as Jython. And it is an implementation of Python programming language. So it's a Python programming language which is designed to run on Java platform. Ashish, do you remember I told you Java programs require JVM, Java Virtual Machine?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So, and Python programs requires
PVM.
PVM.
So Java cannot run on Python PVM, and Python cannot run on JVM. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
If I have to run Java program, I require JVM, Java Virtual Machine. And if I have to run Python program, I require PVM, Python Virtual Machine. Difference समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes.
एक मिनट, रोहित has a question. So question हो तो रोहित unmute करके पूछना चाहिए. Can we use Anaconda to be used in web development? No, Rohit. It is not something that is what do you say, most recommended tool for web development. It doesn't provide you those rich set of libraries. अगर आपको web development करना है, there are other frameworks which are available which do not come bundle along with Anaconda. Okay, I need to check. We need Flask. So we need to check अगर वो Flask Anaconda में है क्या. And I doubt if Flask is bundled in Anaconda. Let me just quickly check in Anaconda Flask है क्या. Anaconda. I'm going to Anaconda site and I'll just check Flask है क्या. Anaconda is providing Flask as well. So you can use Anaconda for web development as well. So I needed a framework, and that framework which is required for web development, that also comes bundled along with Anaconda. So like it's good. That means almost everything that is needed for any Python developer, that's available in Anaconda. So I just checked here. Here I go. Where did I check? So I went to anaconda.org, means I was searching. And I was searching for something called as Flask. And ये Flask में भी Anaconda available है. ये लाइन में पड़े. Flask is a, ये पीछे जाके देखो क्या कहता है. Flask क्या है? Flask is a lightweight WSGI. What anybody knows what is this WSGI? WSGI. Okay, make a note of it. It is what you see is what you get. WSGI. What you see is what you get. Okay. So check it out if what I'm saying is right or not. Or later after the close. It's a web application development framework which is available. Now, when we have such a web application development framework which is available, it is designed to make getting started quickly with ability to scale up for a complex application and so on. Okay. So that fulfills my requirement. So I need a framework, and these kind of frameworks are best required or best for developing web application. So we have this framework also made available with Anaconda. So this web server gateway interface. Okay, so that is what WSGI stands for, web server gateway interface. So if I what you see what you get nahi ho. So if I want to develop a web application, I require this web server. So this web server gateway interface is also made available by Anaconda. So you can definitely develop web application. Web server gateway interface, WSGI. So it has been made available for us. Web server gateway interface. So lightweight hai, and we'll be using in our course. Okay, so we are talking about the next implementation, that is Jython. It is designed to run on Java platform. But I made a statement saying Python programs runs on Python virtual machine, Java program runs on Java virtual machine, then what will run on Jython? So it says it's the implementation of Python programming language which is designed to run on Java platform. That means you may have Python script and you want your Python script to run on JVM. Listen up. You want a Python script to run on JVM. Python script after translation gets converted into bytecodes, and that bytecode is the instruction set for PVM. But the instructions for PVM is different than instruction set for JVM. Java virtual machine का instructions अलग है, because दोनों machine का design अलग है. So if you have a Python library and you have a Java application, say Rahul is a Java developer and Bhagish is his friend, and Bhagish says, "अरे Rahul, तू क्यों इतना time waste कर रहा है? Python में तो ये facility ready-made available है. So why don't you use Python?" He says, "No, my 90% of the application has been developed. It has been developed in Java. But now for 10% application, will it change that 90% application from Java to Python? Does it make sense?"
No,
Yeah.
sir.
No.
No.
So if you give Rahul an opportunity to use the Python code in Java, would it not be nice? That means he's developing a Java application and somewhere there's a Python library which may help him, but the technologies are different. So if you want to make that Python code that Bhagesh has provided him, some ready-made library which is there, to run on JVM, that is something Jython will give you an opportunity to do. So Jython will enable your Python code to interface with Java program. What can we do with this Jython? Let's have a look at it. Jython allows Java developer to use Python libraries. Isn't it great? So Rahul is a Java developer, Bhagesh is a Python developer, and Rahul as a Java developer wants to make use of some Python libraries in Java. So if you want to use some Python libraries in Java, use Jython instead of using Python. It has a compiler which compiles Python code into Java bytecode. Now, can somebody explain this statement after all the discussion that we had yesterday? It has a compiler that compiles all your Python code into Java bytecode. Can somebody explain me that statement?
Sir, so the whole
Code
Python
which is
file,
understandable by JVM.
Complete sentence में बोलो.
Code which can be understood by JVM, Java Virtual Machine.
So what does the statement mean? क्या
Sir.
हाँ बोलिए.
तो पाइथन फाइल जो है
हाँ.
वो डायरेक्टली पूरा का फाइल कंपाइल करके वो जावा बाइट कोड में कन्वर्ट करते हैं और फिर वो जेवीएम में ये
Run करेंगे.
यस.
That means you had a Python code. Normally Java code is compiled to the bytecode for JVM. But
Also
here
APIs, sir.
Java APIs. But here Python APIs will be converted into a format that JVM will understand. So we require the Java bytecodes. Okay, Java, the bytecode, the instruction set for JVM. So Python program, instead of being translated into instruction code set for Python, that is PVM, it will be translated into instruction set of JVM, Java virtual machine ka instruction set mein it will get translated. So this gives you a facility to run Python programs on Java virtual machine. Jython allows Python developers to create application using Java class libraries. That means if you're on Jython, anyway, it's going to run on JVM. So you are a Python developer and you want to use the Java code, that's also possible. So it will enable you to interface between Java and Python libraries. So you can use some Java libraries, something that is good in Java, something that good is in Python, both things together. If you want to use Jython. Is that it? I told you yesterday, this topic that we are discussing is very helpful. You as a developer, when you finish learning Python and when you have a choice to make, अब क्या करे? ये problem मेरे सामने. So this knowledge will help you. अरे you are not going to say, अरे no यार मैं तो Java project use कर रहा हूँ and भाग्यश्री क्यों मुझे Python का example दिखा रही है? Java में नहीं है. अरे Java में नहीं है तो Java में use करो ना उसे. So you have an opportunity to use some features which are available in Java in Python or Python in Java, provided you are working with Jython and not C Python. Quick feedback, everybody. Have you understood Jython?
वाइस वर्सा भी है क्या?
Vice versa. तो अगर Jython में हम you are developing Java code inside that Python is working, तो it's one and the same ना. Python और Java एक साथ काम कर रहे, तो आप किसमें काम कर फर्क नहीं पड़ता ना. At the end of the day, आप Java developer हो या Python developer हो, you will be in a position to use both the things on Python.
Sir, is it like a converter?
It provides a compiler. It says ना, Python provides a compiler. Statement ही मेरा था, नोट करके रखिएगा या फिर snapshot लेके रखिएगा, notebook में notes पूरा complete कर दीजिए बाद में. It provides a compiler which translates the Python language programming language instructions into the bytecode for JVM. It compiler का काम conversion तो है. Any language that you work with, the instructions that you have in your language needs to be translated into format that your host machine understands. तो converter तो होता है हर एक language में. Because your language, your machine never understands C, C++, Java, Python, कुछ नहीं समझ में आता है. So you have to convert the instructions that you write in any programming language into a format that your machine understands. In this case, in Java case में machine is JVM. तो आपके JVM को समझने वाले format में those instructions needs to be translated. शंतनु, क्या डाउट है?
नहीं सर,
और टिक मार्क क्यों नहीं कर रहे?
जस्ट टिक मार्क करिए आप.
ऐसे कैसे? मुझे लगेगा नहीं समझ में आ रहा है आपको, और having that hesitation to ask me, ऐसा ना हो.
नहीं
So
सर,
the next-
बिल्कुल नहीं.
Okay. The next implementation that we are going to look at is Iron Python. It is entirely written in C# that runs on .NET virtual machine. In a Microsoft environment में .NET platform पे अगर Java Python run करना है, think about Iron Python. And that's not the only implementation. There are more available. It is also possible to compile Iron Python code into assembly language as it runs, as is, or invoke it from other languages. So this .NET implementation is much more superior. Iron Python uses dynamic language runtime of CLR, common language runtime, that allows Python programs to run. Let me just give you some idea. आप में से कोई है क्या जिसने .NET पे काम किया है? Anybody amongst you who have worked with .NET? Quick feedback. Piyusha, you have worked on .NET? Piyusha, आपने .NET पे काम
नो
किया?
सर,
तो आपने
नो
टिक किया?
नो, वो प्रीवियस के लिए था एक्चुअली.
अच्छा, previous का है. Okay, let me clear it up. Anybody else who has worked in .NET? Okay, can you all tell me few languages that work on .NET? We have VB.NET, we have CH.NET, we have ASP.NET. सुना है नाम? How many of you heard of these three names? CH.NET, VB.NET, ASP.NET. पिक करो कितने लोगों ने सुने तीनों नाम? बस दो ही लोग हैं, तीन.
ASP.NET सुना है सर, बट बाकी दोनों
CH.NET और VB.NET नहीं सुना था?
नहीं सर.
Okay. ASP are for those who are developing web applications. CH is for those who are developing some desktop or network related application. VB.NET is for some business related applications and so on. These are three different languages. Listen, right? There are three different languages. All of them run the .NET platform. So if they're going to run on this .NET virtual machine, that means whether you write the code in CH or you write the code in VB or you write the code in ASP, that needs to be translated into a format that your .NET framework understands.
Yes.
I agree my point, idea. So all of them have a common language interface that's more like C language. That means Monica is a .NET developer. What .NET? ASP.NET developer. Kaustup is a CH.NET developer. Viraj is a ASP.NET developer. And all of them are developing applications which are going to run on Windows machine. And there is a .NET platform that is there. They write the code in three different languages. But when it is about to run that particular code, all the three different developers who have written code in three different languages will get translated into common language. That is a C-like language. And then that is the one that will run on the .NET virtual machine. So you can say it's a instruction set for the .NET virtual machine. So if you want Python programs to run on .NET, then what do you need to do? You also need to translate the Python code into a format which is similar to that CLR, the language that the .NET understands, the .NET framework understands, or .NET ka virtual machine understands. And if you really want to run your program on this platform, okay, and that's what we have been talking about is .NET platform. So the option that is available for you is to use Iron Python. So Iron Python will give you a chance to run your Python programs, on .NET platform. Have you all understood this? Okay. Now,
Sir,
is who created this? Okay, किसी ने तो बनाया होगा. It is the same guy who came with this idea of running Python on JVM. He is the one who created Iron Python. So, what is it? So, Iron Python uses the dynamic language runtime of the CLR, common language runtime, to allow Python programs to run on it. It was designed, created by Jim Huggins, who was the creator of Jython. The same fellow who made Python work on Java platform is the same fellow who had written that, who somebody said translate, uske paas kuch converter hai kya? He is the one who has written the converter for Python. Don't call it as a converter. That's a very raw kind of word. Let's say compiler. So that can translate Python language code into CLR that can run on .NET virtual machine. Or it can be translated into a format that .NET can be understand. So your Python programs can also run on .NET platform. So if you're a Java developer, if you're a .NET developer, or you are a C developer, all of you can make use of Python libraries. Why? Because there are ways in which Python as a language can be interfaced with other technologies. It is not that easily possible with other technologies. Means Java ko .NET ke sath link karna would be very difficult, but it is very much possible for you to do it with Python. Have you all understood this quick feedback?
सर मतलब आयरन पाइथन सी पाइथन से भी फास्ट हुआ फिर तो
Iron Python?
सी पाइथन से भी फास्ट हुआ
क्यों? कहाँ
क्योंकि आयरन सर सेकंड पॉइंट है कि आयरन पाइथन असेंबली लैंग्वेज में भी कंपाइल कर सकते हैं और किसी भी अदर लैंग्वेज में रन कर सकते हैं.
करेक्ट. ओके. और सी लैंग्वेज का जो जब भी कोड आप कंपाइल करते हो, every C language code, you like it or don't like it, it means just that you not be aware of it. It always gets converted to assembly.
Yes.
So there is no question of anything running faster than C language. समझ आ रहा है? Because C का प्रोग्राम भी तो असेंबली में कन्वर्ट हो रहा है.
पर वो एक
बोलो.
है ना, पहले सी पाइथन सी में कन्वर्ट होता है, उसके बाद वो असेंबली में होता है, और आयरन पाइथन डायरेक्ट असेंबली में होता है.
Come again?
सर सी पाइथन पहले एक पाइथन लैंग्वेज रहता है, वो सी में कन्वर्ट होता है, और सी लास्ट में जाके असेंबली में होता है. और इन आयरन पाइथन पहले सीधा असेंबली में कन्वर्ट होता है.
फिर
आयरन पाइथन.
हाँ.
तो
आपका कहना है कि हम लोग पाइथन प्रोग्राम रन करते हैं क्या? जिंदगी में हम कभी सी का प्रोग्राम रन नहीं करते हैं. जिंदगी में कभी हम लोग पाइथन का प्रोग्राम रन नहीं करते हैं. देखो मैं क्या कह रहा हूँ. Never in your life you run a C program. Never in your life you run a Python script. Because C, when you run, it is not the C code that you and me have written that is what is running. हम रन करने के पहले उसे कंपाइल करते हैं. कंपाइल कर जो exe फाइल क्रिएट होता है, हम लोग सिर्फ exe फाइल रन करते हैं. तो यू मे कंपाइल द कोड वंस एंड रन इट फॉर योर लाइफ टाइम. तो रन करते समय फिर हम लोग C का प्रोग्राम रन नहीं कर रहे हैं. What we are running for your lifetime is the compiled version. So it doesn't matter उसके पहले कितना समय लिया है. There are two phases. एक कंपाइल और लिंकिंग का एक फेज है, that is डेवलपमेंट फेज, और एक रन टाइम का फेज है. और जब कोई परफॉर्मेंस देखता है प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज के स्पीड का, वो उसको डेवलप करने में कितना समय गया है वो नहीं चेक करेगा. वो रन करते समय कितना फास्ट रन कर रहा है वो देखेगा. तो while running you don't run C code. While running you run that machine code which your machine understands. So getting my point?
Yes sir.
Python में क्या हो रहा है? You're converting this code into a format that your target machine can understand. And the target machine can be PVM, target machine can be JVM, target machine can be .NET ka virtual machine. So when you fire those instructions to .NET virtual machine, then the .NET virtual machine starts interpreting those instructions one after another, and then it will run. Interpreter है. आपने कल का सेशन नहीं मिस करना चाहिए. इंटरप्रेटर का डिस्कस किया हमने. इंटरप्रेटर वो एक एक लाइन इंटरप्रेट करके रन करना शुरू करेगा. That does not mean the code was the Python code को interpret करेगा. It is going to interpret the byte codes which were created after compiling the Python code. So byte code कौन सा था? Byte code was that code which your target machine, maybe Iron Python can understand, or JVM can understand, or the PVM can understand, and so on. So C machine programs run directly on the host machine, the actual machine. Python programs are not running on the actual machine. They are working on the virtual machine, and the virtual machine can be the .NET virtual machine. The virtual machine can be the Python virtual machine. The virtual machine can be the Java virtual machine. C programs do not run on any virtual machine. They run on the actual machine, the host, the processor, the RAM, the physical host and the physical processor. Since they are going to interact with the direct resources they're going to use, your physical processor, how will it run faster than, slower than the Python? Because you run the code on PVM. PVM या Java का JVM या .NET का virtual machine. They themselves are software which are running on your host machine. So there is additional layer of interface in all these cases with that one more layer of interface called as a virtual machine, and the virtual machine itself is running on your machine. There is an additional workload that your machine has to perform. That's not the case when we talk about C and C++. C and C++ programs after compilation are mapped to your actual hardware. So nothing can work faster than your C++ program. Yes. Ashish, doubt clear hua kya?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but I'm going to contradict this statement in this topic today. इसी statement को मैं खुद ही contradict करने वाला हूँ. Because there are tools which are available to make your programs run even faster than C. ऐसे tools available है, but not in this case what we talked about. Everybody understood this? Quick feedback. I asked feedback for two reasons, just to make sure that you really have understood or not, and are you paying attention or not. If you're not paying attention, आपका feedback जल्दी नहीं आता है. So that gives idea कि कौन सुन रहा है कौन नहीं सुन रहा है. जैसे संजय सो गया है, सुनीता कई बार सो जाती है. So I get an idea. Okay, this time Sunita is quick. Okay. So what we saw is iron Python. We also have an alternate implementation called as WinPython. And these are actual icons of it. Python distribution specifically created for users on Microsoft Windows. So if Windows is the only operating system where you would like to run Python, हमें क्या कहा था हमने कल? If you want to run Python on any device, we first have to install PVM on that particular machine. And I showed you where to download that Python, how to install it, that we had seen. But now, if you want to run a Python without installation, it does not have to install on the machine where it runs. It just needs to be unzipped into a directory, unzip or whatever it is. So it's a portable software which gives an environment on which you can run a Python program. And this environment does not even need to be installed in a machine. You just have to copy it on your machine and unzip it and explode करके रख दो, and you can run on it. WinPython also bundles several data science oriented packages like NumPy, Pandas, SciPy, Matplotlib. So they can be used right away without additional installation step. So what comes bundled along this WinPython is all these tools like Anaconda जैसे provide कर रहा था. So you don't require any additional installation. जैसे मैं अभी कह रहा था, पहले pip install करो, NumPy install करो, और फिर NumPy को import करके use करो. Here you can directly import NumPy in an application and start using it. The best part is you don't need installation. So if Harsh is a developer, he develops a software and he wants to give this particular software to somebody amongst you. So Monica ko software dena, Monica for whom he wants to give that software, he can bundle that Python, WinPython, and that software together and share that entire distributable to her. So when she takes it, when she runs it, she is not even aware कि उसने अपने machine पे Python install किया है नहीं किया है. She can just use that particular set of files which have been provided, and without any installation of any kind of Python on her machine, she can start using that application which is running on WinPython. So WinPython eliminates the need for you to install Python on the target machine. यानी आपका जो भी client का machine रहेगा, वहाँ आपको कोई Python install नहीं करना है. Without installing Python, you can start using it, provided you have WinPython available with you. Have you understood this?
पण बिन पायथन इन्स्टॉल नाही करत मग ते आपल्या पीसी मध्ये आहे हे कसं कळलं? म्हणजे ते लोगो आहे
जैसे tell me, when you take a PDF file, do you install PDF file on a machine?
No.
If I give you a zip file that has number of games or number of files, you unzip that particular zip file and it creates a folder in which those zip files are stored.
Yes.
Okay, so likewise,
Hello,
when
am I
you,
audible?
yeah. So let's just like that, you have this WinPython as one archive, one collection of programs. You just unzip it and keep it in your machine. And along with that, you'll also have your Python code that you'd like to run. So when you start running the Python, provided you have set the path correctly, it'll make use of the software which is installed in that, which is unzipped into that directory. It will make use of it and start running. We can write a small script to set the path. It will do that work magic for you. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we'll do is over here, few students are asking for a break. I don't know for what. So we'll take a short 5 minutes break. So you want to relieve yourself, you want to have a glass of water, you just want to get freshen up. So 5 minutes break, it's 21:19 and 9:19. Oh, or let me check if I can just, if there are a few slides remaining, why do you need to take a break? Let me see how many more slides. Hardly any time. So instead of taking break, can I just finish with 5 slides more and we'll stop for today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, why take a break? Okay. Very minor lecture. Lecture में जैसा.
Sir, WinPython is Windows specific.
Come again?
WinPython is Windows specific.
Yeah, it's only on Windows. It will not run anywhere. WinPython will run only on Windows machines. It will not run on any other machine. So that's a drawback. But remember, most of the desktops across the globe work on Windows. So if most of the people are using Windows, and if luckily your client is also working on Windows, so you can definitely make use of WinPython. But it has its own drawback. What drawback है? It will work only on Windows and not on any other system. Is that okay? My
Yes, sir.
mobile phone just got upgraded, but वो DND का बटन ही गायब हो गया. I don't know where to put it off for. MIUI 14 version आ गया. Interface changes, and sometimes you find it difficult to find where those buttons are. Okay. Anyway, there is some lag on my machine. So what I'll do is, I'll make one of you the host, and I'll just restart my machine once again. So don't leave the meeting. I'm just making one of you as host, and I'm restarting my machine. So Monica, you are the host now, not the co-host, but the host. Make me the host when I join again. And
Yes,
my
sir.
machine is quite fast. I'll join you within 2 minutes. So don't leave. I'm not
Okay,
leaving
sir.
even for
Yes.
a tea break or something. I'm
Yes.
just restarting my
Yes.
machine.
Yes.
So we have one more implementation of Python which is available, which is called as PyPy. कौन बंद कर रहा है? मोनिका आप बंद कर रहे हो क्या recording?
No, sir. I'm not a host.
Why is it starting and stopping? Okay, please don't turn on or turn off the recording. Okay.
Sir,
so
I'm
we
not
have-
a host. I don't have any
okay.
permission.
Okay, there is a ghost who is doing it. Okay, if it's not you and me, कोई कौन कर रहा है? कोई तो कर रहा है. Okay, let's continue. Anyway, there is some problem. Okay, any guess what could be PyPy?
Python.
Python.
Yeah, very good guess. It's a Python implemented in Python language. Does it make sense?
सर ये वेनिला पाइथन है क्या, प्लेन पाइथन?
It says like Python which is created using Python language. कैसे लग रहा है? Now, if I have to build something, if I have to create C language, do you write C language code in C? Do you create C compiler in C? C का code compile या अंडा या मुर्गी
नहीं
पहले?
सर,
What? आशीष?
नो
No, why not? क्यों नहीं कर पा रहे ऐसा?
सर हम सी क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, सी कैसे यूज कर सकते हैं?
तो क्यों नहीं कर पा रहे? ठीक है ना?
तो जो क्रिएट कर रहे हैं वो
हाँ।
कैसे यूज कर सकते हैं? वो तो
सी
क्रिएट
क्रिएट
होना
करें
है।
मतलब आपको सी लैंग्वेज का कंपाइलर देना होगा.
यस,
सी लैंग्वेज के कंपाइलर का काम क्या है?
सी को टारगेट मशीन कोड में कन्वर्ट करना।
वहाँ ओएस है, विंडोज के
हाँ।
फॉर्मेट में, लिनक्स के फॉर्मेट, लिनक्स को समझने वाले फॉर्मेट में सी लैंग्वेज के कोड को ट्रांसलेट करना है. तो डेफिनेटली दैट कंपाइलर कोड, वो कंपाइलर पहले आएगा या सी लैंग्वेज कोड पहले आएगा? पहले क्या बनाना होगा? सी लैंग्वेज का प्रोग्राम लिखना होगा पहले, या फिर वो कंपाइलर जो सी लैंग्वेज को ट्रांसलेट करके EXE बना सके वो पहले बनाएंगे आप?
Program, C language program.
यस,
कोड से
कोड नहीं आ सकता. अगर आपने कोड
Compiler
बनाया,
है।
कंपाइलर चाहिए ना. बिकॉज अगर कंपाइलर नहीं है तो सी लैंग्वेज का प्रोग्राम को लेके करोगे क्या? सी लैंग्वेज कोड इज इन इंग्लिश लाइक लैंग्वेज. विल द मशीन अंडरस्टैंड इफ एंड एल्स एंड अदर थिंग्स? To make your C program run, what do you need to do? You need to translate it. Without translating a C program, will it ever run?
No.
No. So if you cannot run a C program without translating it, is that C program of any use? तो ये C प्रोग्राम का कंपाइलर पहले आएगा मार्केट में या C लैंग्वेज का कोड पहले आएगा मार्केट में? कंपाइलर आएगा. क्यों? तो अगर आपके पास कंपाइलर है तो अगर संजय ने भी C लैंग्वेज का कोड लिखा, I can translate that code and create an EXE file out of it, executable file out of it. अगर आपके पास कंपाइलर नहीं है तो C लैंग्वेज का कोड लिख के कोई फायदा है क्या?
No,
है या नहीं?
no.
नो. तो मेरा क्वेश्चन आपसे ये है, C लैंग्वेज का कंपाइलर कौन से लैंग्वेज में लिखा गया है? असेंबली लैंग्वेज सी में लिखी गई है, ठीक है, पर सी का कंपाइलर कौन से लैंग्वेज में लिखा गया है? पाइथन का कोड इज रिटन इन सी. तो सी बाई का भी कोई कोड रहेगा ना, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन रहेगा ना. सी में आप लिखते हैं स्कैनफ, देयर विल बी सम कोड दैट इज देयर बिहाइंड इट ना. देयर विल बी सम कंपाइलर व्हिच इज
मे बी असेंबली में लिखा होगा.
मे बी
असेंबली में लिखा होगा. असेंबली लैंग्वेज.
and that is a right guess. The first C compiler is written in assembly, and henceforth, even in academics, you will learn to write C compilers in C language itself. तो आप सोचो ये क्या बात कर रहे हैं यार, C का कंपाइलर C में कैसे लिखेंगे? Okay, this is your assignment for you to identify. You will find enough of information on internet. Find out how can we develop a C compiler in C language, and what is that called as? Okay, when you develop a compiler of a language using the same language, तो ये तो अंडा पहले या मुर्गी पहले की प्रॉब्लम है. तो लैंग्वेज को ट्रांसलेट करने वाला कोड नहीं रहेगा तो प्रोग्राम कैसे ट्रांसलेट करोगे? तो अगर सी का कंपाइलर का कोड मैंने सी में लिखा है तो उसे ट्रांसलेट कौन करेगा? दैट्स द प्रॉब्लम दैट वी हैव. बट टुडे across the globe, all C compilers are created using C language. And the duty of that compiler is to translate C language code into machine language. So it's tricky. So that's your assignment for today. Do some research, find out, you'll never forget. And that could be quite a handy information to have when you are appearing for interviews. That shows the depth to which what you have studied. Similar technique, what you will explore for C language is available for Python as well. We have a Python interpreter, which is built in Python. We have a PVM, which has been created not by using C language, but by using Python language itself. And implementation of Python written completely in Python, that's PyPy. What's the advantage of using this? It supports several advanced features not found in other implementation like stackless support or just-in-time compiler, JIT. ये mark करके रखो, सबसे important है JIT, just-in-time compiler. People call it JIT. What's the advantage of using JIT? Today, JIT is available with JVM as well. So if this JIT concept, if the JIT concept, if the JIT concept is made available in Python or in PVM, then this program works 7 to 8 times faster than C Python. And I told you I'm going to contradict my statement. जब मैंने किसी ने मुझे पूछा था C Python से Anaconda fast काम करता है कि नहीं, मैंने कहा इससे कोई fast नहीं काम कर सकता है. तो
Yes.
PyPy JIT compiles. The JIT means just-in-time compiler compiles Python code to machine language, providing 7.7x speed of over C Python on average. The average 7 times faster या 8 times faster than C Python run कर रहा है. Because it is compiling the Python code into machine language, the format that your target machine can understand, and it can, the target machine can be PVM or your direct hardware. So this particular program will run, or the program that you run on PyPy will run 7 to 8 times faster than C Python. So if you want to have the fastest feature, fastest running Python, you'll have to go in for PyPy. And it does support several advanced features not found in other implementation, like stackless support. That also makes it faster. Just-in-time compiler, JIT compiler. Okay, what it does, I will tell you later how the JIT works. JIT over here has one very advanced feature called as, it's like hotspot. I'll tell you about those hotspots later. Just-in-time compiler, it will not compile the entire code. It is like, when it is the right time to use that function, only then will I compile. I'll not even waste my time translating that particular code. When it is the right time to use it, just before using it, it will compile and it will keep it in the memory. Okay, so if it is made available just at the time when it was required, so if you do not really compile it and beforehand and keep it, okay, only that piece of your code will be compiled which you are using very frequently. And with these advanced techniques, your PyPy code can run much faster than any other implementation of Python which is available. So to understand how PyPy has been designed, Google for one information, as I told you, how come we write C compilers in C language? If you can understand that, you'll have enough understanding as to how is it made possible for PyPy. Because you'll not find much information of PyPy, but you'll definitely find a lot of information about how to develop C compilers using C language. So what is that concept called as? Do a Google search. I'll be asking you some questions on that next time when we meet. And then what we have is MicroPython. It says it provides minimal subset of Python language that can run on extremely low-end hardware such as microcontroller. The MicroPython PyBoard. Yesterday somebody was asking me, किसने कहा था? मैंने जब hardware Python की बात की, somebody talked about some other board. किसने बात की? Some other board?
Arduino, right?
किसने बात की? Who is that?
Sir, it was about Arduino.
Yeah, who said that?
Shantanu.
Shantanu was talking about Arduino. So think about, you have a board, a silicon, इसके अंदर एक processor है, and that processor is nothing but low-level Python interpreter. Okay, so MicroPython PyBoard is a compact electronic circuit board that runs MicroPython on a bare metal. Bare metal का मतलब है वहाँ कोई अपना regular computer नहीं है. Bare metal का मतलब है you don't have any other Windows or Linux or Mac operating system. It is a Python program running on that hardware. We're giving you low-level Python operating system that can be used to control all kind of electronic project. So if you plan to interface or control some devices using Python as a language, and you do not have a computer, correct? And then you can use this particular PyBoard, MicroPython PyBoard, which has the Python implemented as an hardware, and it has its own operating system, not Linux, not Windows, nothing. Okay, and it will give you an opportunity to carry out the basic I/O operations that you want to carry out to interface with any device that you may have connected to your machine. So you have a car and you have some operations on the car, and you want some operations to, you're not going to install a laptop or a desktop inside your car. So you're not going to have your regular Windows or Linux operating system running on in your car. So in that case, such kind of chips can be installed. They are almost like a computer, having all those interfacing kind of mechanism, so that it can control the various devices which have been connected to that particular board. So when I was talking about hardware Python, this MicroPython is an example of an hardware Python, but it is a minimal subset. That means only those basic commands which are required for interfacing, those things have been provided for us. So that was MicroPython. Then we have Portable Python. It is the portable version of Python or Spider for Windows. Portable Python is C Python runtime in self-contained package. Now, if along with C Python, you wanted this Matplotlib, NumPy, SymPy, SciPy, okay, Python, that's something different. Python, ये सब कुछ चाहिए था, जैसे Anaconda में मिल रहा था. So in that case, you can use Portable Python. So you want C Python with all the software that and what Anaconda was providing, you can go in with Portable Python. Portable Python runs without needing to be installed on Windows. It can live in any directory or can be removed on a removable drive. यानी आप pen drive में रख सकते हैं. You can connect that pen drive and the Portable Python is available for you. You can just keep in some folder, some directory in your machine, and the Python is available. So this does not require installation. So it is like WinPython with all the features, many of those features that Anaconda provides, both put together, you have this Portable Python. So WinPython was portable. So Portable Python that we have right now with us, okay, gives you an opportunity to bundle all those softwares for scientific computing like Matplotlib, NumPy, SciPy, all those things are clubbed together and they can run without installation. So what we have is Portable Python. And the next is Rust. Rust is an emerging language. It is thought to be a replacement for C++. Listen to that. It is not replaced. Currently, its market share is not even 1 or 2%. Way behind C and C++. But future, the people say it is going to be a replacement for C++. Yeah, Carbon is going to be a replacement for C++. But Rust has more usage than Carbon. And how is it? The biggest reason why C++ program fail is because of memory leaks, yeah, pointers, yeah, pointer mismanagement. So memory management is a challenge for a C or a C++ developer. Rust programming removes the memory management responsibility from a developer, making it much more safer to use. So C with safety, yeah, C++ with more safety is a Rust. And if you want Python implemented in Rust, you have Rust Python, which is available. It is currently only subset of Python syntax, but it is making steady progress. अरे वो अभी तक तो C को भी replace नहीं किया, C++ को भी replace नहीं किया, but some part of Python has been made available. Over a period, entire Python will also be made available in Rust Python. Yes, Rohit.
Sir, as you said that the Rust Python will take care of the memory management, but the Java is already doing that.
Listen, Rust Python is different. Rust will take care of memory management that C and C++ as a developer you have to do. All those malloc, calloc, new, delete, okay, memory allocation free करो, ये करो, वो आपको करने की जरूरत नहीं in Rust. It will make much more safer Rust. It will make C++ and C as safe as Java.
मगर Java पहले से
Correct, but Java का speed C++ match नहीं करता है. So you want performance of C and safety of Java, go in for Rust.
Okay. Yes.
You want performance of C++ and safety of Java, go in for Rust.
Okay.
Okay. So, but then it is just a hype. I personally have a doubt whether it will really replace C++. I personally have a doubt. I may be wrong, but my doubt is not, it is well founded because there is millions of developers across the globe who are already working on C++ and expecting them to switch over to Rust, which is not even a proven language today. Not many projects are available here in Rust. I think it will be a long time till the time Rust, if it replaces C++, it will still be another 10-15 years. I don't think before that Rust will replace C or C++. I don't think. Because modern C++ today is much more safer than traditional C++ with the introduction of all those instead of pointers and memory allocation, what we have is the smart pointers and other things. So they are also addressing the safety issue to some extent. So raw pointers are almost no in modern C++ now. We don't use pointers, the raw pointers that are available in C++ anymore. We are required to use the weak pointers, the smart pointers, the unique pointers, okay, all those classes of new generation pointers which are available. So C++ is also safe today. So I don't think that will happen. Huh? But agar chahiye aapko Rust Python, that's available. And last is Python. Now this is not an alternate implementation for Python. ये साइथन और सी पाइथन ये दो अलग चीजें हैं. That was C Python first. ये साइथन है, CYTHON. What is Python? Is an optimizing static compiler. जो विराज कह रहा था, ट्रांसलेटर वगैरह कह रहा था, वैसे एक स्टैटिक कंपाइलर है. ओके, तो सी पाइथन इज ऑप्टिमाइजिंग स्टैटिक कंपाइलर. कंपाइलर का काम क्या होता है? कोड को एक फॉर्म में से हाई लेवल से लो लैंग्वेज में ट्रांसलेट करो. तो इफ यू वांट टू यूज द कंबाइंड पावर ऑफ सी एंड पाइथन, यू कैन यूज साइथन. Okay, CYTHON, not C Python. Write Python code that calls back and forth from and to C or C++ code natively at any point. So through Python you want to call C code, or through C you would like to call Python code. So now you want to have an interface between C++, C and Python. So in that case you will go in for Python. Python is an ideal language for wrapping external C libraries. Like in Python, we could make use of Java along with Python. So if you want to make use of C libraries in Python or Python libraries in C, so in that case you can think about using Python. So Python is an ideal language. It's a different language. It has its own compiler for wrapping external C libraries, embedding C Python is what we use, Python, into existing applications, and for fast C modules that speeds up execution of Python code. That means you'll use some C features which runs very, very fast. Okay, along with Python, that is Python means the Python. So it will allow embedding Python into existing application. So you have a C library and you will take Python code, we'll embed into that particular C library, and we'll make use of that C libraries to make your Python code faster. So if you want to improve the code of your C Python, speed of execution of C Python, so you can wrap C libraries into Python. Okay. Python means the C Python that we have. C Python and Python are two different things. So you want to interface the actual Python that you and me use along with C++. Think about Python. Python provides optimizing static compiler. That means you translate that code only into one format, and this particular code can run even without virtual machine. So if you want your Python code to work directly on the host, that's also made possible. So you want to have the power of C and the power of Python both put together. Think about using Python as a language. So Python is an altogether different language which will give an opportunity to interface C and Python both together. This is not an alternate implementation of Python. This is not an alternate implementation of Python. It is a completely different language. You can visit on the python.org to know more about what is Python. So you can go to this particular site, python.org. It says it is an optimizing compiler for both the Python programming language and external Python programming language. So Python itself is a programming language based on Pyrex. It makes writing C extensions for Python easy as Python itself. So Python requires C libraries to run, and you want to quickly develop C libraries that can be integrated with Python. Use Python as a language rather than using C. Python gives you combined power of C, C++ and lets you write Python code that calls back C, C++ quantity. Use readable Python code into plain C by adding static type declaration. Also in Python syntax, like in Python, we said it is dynamically typed. Dynamically typed means the variables are created the moment you assign value to it. I don't want that thing to happen. I want a variable which is type specific, integer variable, character variable, float variable, decimal variable. I want to create that. So you can make use of the Python and have static types along with dynamic typing, all those things together. Quickly build an application within large, mature, widely used C Python ecosystem. Okay, so and integrate natively with existing core, data, legacy, high level performance libraries, low level, high performance libraries and applications. Low level means which are near to the machine. High performance, which works very fast. All of them can be clubbed together by using Python. So Python is a different language that gives you an opportunity to develop very quickly C libraries that can be interfaced with Python. So it's a different language. It is not an alternate implementation for Python. So I showed you various alternate implementations for Python, and we also looked at something called as Python, which gives you an opportunity to develop C libraries, which are low level, which can be embedded in Python. And our Python is actually C Python. So C Python and Python are two different things. C Python is C implementation of Python language, correct? And Python is another language which gives us a mechanism to quickly implement C libraries to be integrated with Python. Have you understood this? Quick feedback. Any questions, anybody?
Sir,
No,
Yes, please.
sir, how to decide which one to use, Python or C
Depending
Python?
on your requirement of the project. Your project is already developed in Java and you need some Python library support, Python. .NET में आपका major platform पे आपका platform for development is .NET. Then use Iron Python. वहाँ Python का इस्तेमाल करना है तो. So depending upon the kind of application that you're developing, the existing ecosystem that is there, and you want to make use of Python over there, then that will help you decide. मुझे C Python use करना है, मुझे Iron Python use करना है, मुझे Python use करना है, मुझे Win Python use करना है. तो now I have told you when to use what. अब आपकी वो जरूरत हो वैसे पोर्टेबल चाहिए तो पोर्टेबल पाइथन यूज करो, विंडोज पे चाहिए तो विन पाइथन यूज करो, विदाउट इंस्टॉलेशन चाहिए तो विन पाइथन में आपका एप्लीकेशन बंडल करके दे दो, बट इट रन ओनली ऑन विंडोज. Okay, so you have choices to make, and that's the reason I gave you this particular information. So that brings us to the end of introduction to Python as a programming language. In the next session, it will be far more easier because we'll start with Python as a language. यानी जैसे किसी भी लैंग्वेज में हम लोग पढ़ते हैं ABCD. How do I create a variable? How do I store values into it? How do I carry out operation on the data? All those things will start in the tomorrow's next session. Next session will be on Monday. So Monday when we meet, we'll start discussing Python as a programming language. So this is all that I had to give you an idea about Python before we start learning Python as a programming language. तो कोई query है तो पूछिएगा before we stop for today. Okay, no query. So let me know your takeaway. आदित्य आपका takeaway क्या है?
Hello, sir. Sir, am I audible?
What is your takeaway? I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Sir, Python as a language and sir, Python.
तो सेंटेंस बोलो ना, क्या मुझे आपने क्या लर्निंग था आपके लिए, क्या what was the thing that you learned, means you felt, oh, that was something that I felt it was good, or it was important for me. What was your takeaway? Sunita?
So we have learned today about the different kind of flavors of Python and in which environment we can use which what.
Which flavor? Correct.
Yeah,
That-
and
that
there are,
was-
I think, more than 10. Yeah, you told about
Correct.
C Python, Anaconda, Python, PY,
Iron Python,
Iron Python, Python, Rust language also you.
Rust program Python. Okay.
Yeah.
So depending on what kind of applications you're working on, and there you want to make use of Python, you want to make use of power, you want to integrate power of Python with the power of other programming languages. So that gives you an opportunity to select. So Python is not just the one that we are using. The same code that I'm going to teach you, you can write in Iron, Python, Python everywhere. Language is going to remain the same. But that libraries that this language provides, you can integrate with other programming languages as well.
Yes.
So that is something that was very good. Ashish?
सर पहले तो मेन रीजन पता चला कि पाइथन के इंडेक्स रैंकिंग में वो 1 पर क्यों है, क्योंकि वो इतने सारे फ्लेवर्स है उसके, हर एप्लीकेशन पे यूज कर सकते हैं,
हर एनवायरनमेंट में इसको यूज कर सकते हैं.
यस.
देन
और सर कुछ तो फ्लेवर्स ऐसे जिनको इंस्टॉल करने की भी जरूरत है,
इंस्टॉल भी करेंगे, डायरेक्टली स्टार्ट यूजिंग. तो इससे डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन बहुत आसान हो जाता है. एज ए डेवलपर व्हेन यू डेवलप योर एप्लीकेशन और आपको क्लाइंट को देना है, तो यू डू नॉट हैव टू आस्क द क्लाइंट टू इंस्टॉल सम सॉफ्टवेयर. यू कैन जस्ट बंडल, क्रिएट वन जिप फाइल एंड गिव इट टू हिम एंड से क्लिक करो, इस पे रन कर जाएगा. दैट्स द ब्यूटी. यू कैन मींस एवरीथिंग बंडल टुगेदर. बिना इंस्टॉलेशन काम करके क्या अच्छा नहीं है क्या? डबल क्लिक करो और रन करो. ओके, कोई इंस्टॉलेशन नहीं, कुछ नहीं. भाग्यश्री?
So difference between C Python and Python and
Python is a totally different language. Yeah, so don't think of Python as
C Python.
हाँ, C Python. C Python के साथ C के लाइब्रेरीज डेवलप करना अगर आसान करना है, C Python के अंदर C को एम्बेड करना अगर आसान करना है, तो Python एज ए लैंग्वेज यूज कीजिएगा.
Yes.
It has its own starting compiler. Okay, so C Python लोगों को लगता है एक ही है. that's definitely not the case. Harsh?
Yes, sir. The most interesting one I found was PyPy, which is the fastest one because it makes use of just-in-time compiler, which is almost 8 times faster than C Python.
Okay, तो ये C का Python का सबसे बड़ा drawback हमने कल discuss किया था. And the only drawback that we talked about yesterday was क्या था drawback Python का कल हमने बात की?
Execution
Slow
One
है.
second, sir.
तो एक जगह हम लोग कह रहे execution slow है other than C, and यहाँ हम लोग कह रहे C से अगर 7 और 8 times faster काम करे, so that problems also overcome.
Yes, sir.
But इसके related मैंने एक question पूछा है. क्या question पूछा है?
Yes, sir.
Python
How can we
implemented in
develop
Python.
a C compiler in C language? And
तो ये आपको ढूंढना है. अगर वो ढूंढते
Yes,
हो
sir.
तो ये Python in Python कैसे लिखा गया इसका अंडरस्टैंडिंग आपको हो जाएगा. And as an engineer, this is a very important information that you need to have.
Yes,
Kaustubh?
Sir, the most first of all, sir, the 7 alternate implementations of Python. Then, sir, when two developers like Python developer and Java developer can work together using Python, that was
That
something.
means you can make use of best of the features in different language along with Python.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That kind of interfacing is not other with Java and .NET and things. That kind of thing cannot be done. The
Yes.
best of Java is with Java and best of .NET is with .NET. But best of Python can be used with best of any other language.
Yes.
So you can make use of the potential that Python provides with the advanced feature that other languages provide. So that makes it much more interesting. Monica?
Sir, various flavors of Python.
Uh,
And one more thing that Python can be run without virtual machine, which is independent on virtual machine. That was it, sir.
no, Python क्या Python अपना PVM पे रन करेगा. Python का PVM C में लिखा गया है. मैं वो C Python कह रहा था. Python कह रहा था.
Python बोल रही थी, Python.
हाँ, C Python नहीं, Python ना. Okay, Python is a different language. तो उसको छोड़ दो. It's not Python. It's a different language.
And one more thing is that Anaconda. Why it is used widely means it provides various tools.
हाँ, तो next time I'll install Anaconda in the session. Now it has been downloaded. अगले सेशन में एक बार इंस्टॉल भी करके दिखाऊंगा. या हम जब यूज करेंगे Anaconda उसके पहले इंस्टॉल करके देखेंगे. तो it will take some time to install. But then how that I told you the features GUI के through just टिक करके इंस्टॉल हो जाएंगे. That also will see. And in the course I'll also teach you C Python में भी सॉफ्टवेयर कैसे इंस्टॉल करना है. That also I'll be teaching you. Piyusha?
Yes, sir. I came to know a lot of new terms today, which were new for me, like the Python you told, which is the combination of Java and Python, Python, C Python, Python, and also about the alternate implementations of Python as well.
But do you see the advantage of that? आज
Yes, sir.
सुनाई तो दिया, but advantage ऐसा लग रहा है कि इसका हाँ यार मुझे ऐसा फायदा हो सकता है.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Prithviraj?
Hello,
Yes.
am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Different flavors of Python and which we can use according to our need. Like C Python, then Python. Other than that, I was also interested by listening about PyPy and how you can implement the how do you compiler of Python can be used for Python. The same thing.
Don't say compile, say PVM of Python can be designed in Python.
Yeah,
Okay.
Python can be designed in Python.
Okay, so find out about it. That's an assignment for you.
Yes.
Rahul?
The different flavors of Python like C Python, that is original and most maintained implementation of
It's the most
Python.
implementation. Any new feature that comes in Python, आपको पहला कहाँ मिलेगा तो C Python मिलेगा. The
Yes.
Python Software Foundation, क्या बोला था हमने? PSF याद है? सबने नोट करके लिया.
Yes.
PSF maintains C Python ना. यानी जो भी Python committee है, they don't write other Python. They only write C Python. Okay. Anything else, Rahul?
Other than this, sir, the Anaconda that provides the extremely readily tools available that
It makes the tools readily available. जल्दी से
Yes.
मिल जाएगा. इंस्टॉल करना कुछ नहीं, टिक करो इंस्टॉल हो जाता है. I am yet to show you that. हाँ.
And other than this, the other like alternative implementation of Python, like
Correct.
WinPython.
Sanjay?
The different flavors of Python,
Okay.
which use according to project needs.
करेक्ट. अकाउंट टू प्रोजेक्ट नहीं, कि आपका प्रोजेक्ट की डिमांड क्या है उस हिसाब से आप डिसाइड करोगे कौन सा यूज करना. देन
Or in window, how to you install NumPy.
ओके, बट आई डिड नॉट डेमोन्स्ट्रेट इट. हमें गिट पिप इंस्टॉल करने से देखना है, तो आई समडे गिव एन डेमोन्स्ट्रेट हाउ टू इंस्टॉल पिप, और बाद में दिखाऊंगा मैं.
No,
अभी तक
I
नहीं
have
दिखाऊंगा.
tried it and it
Okay.
installed successfully.
Oh, it installed success. That's great. Good. Shantanu?
Yes, sir. So as everyone said, today for me new things were like different flavors of Python, and among that, the most interesting, or I could say the most useful thing that I may be using in future, like Anaconda, since it has all the required I have been using like pandas, NumPy. So
Actually, you have already been using it.
yeah, so those are already there in Anaconda. So I'm more eager to use how to use Anaconda.
Okay.
So these were the takeaways for me, and most the new thing that I learned about the PyPy and the just-in-time theory. So during my engineering days, I have just learned about what is just-in-time. So I'm looking forward how it works in PyPy.
But that's an assignment for you. Just in time compilation क्या है ये देखने के लिए आपको पहले पाइथन में पाइथन कैसे इंप्लीमेंट किया वो पढ़ना है, and then you will search what is JIT. Yeah. And जब आप मुझे आंसर दोगे तब मैं आपको करेक्ट करूंगा, ये JIT जो आप सोच रहे हो पढ़े हो सही जगह से पढ़ाई के लिए.
So what I have learned, JIT is like it's like supply and demand. So whenever it's there is a demand, and instead of creating a warehouse, it just creates it creates the commodities and supply it from the factory itself. So that is what I have
But yeah, but that's more about supply chain management का JIT.
right.
Okay, now think about it. Similar facility will be made available while application is running inside a machine.
It's like the memory allocation. I hope means
No,
what I can
it's
imagine.
No, it's not about memory allocation. It's about the code that is required. जैसे आपके supply chain management में the component which is required is supplied on the production line just at the time when it is installed. जब गाड़ी ready होके आ जाएगी तब उसपे चाक लगा व्हील लगाने, तो व्हील तब आ जाएंगे मार्केट फ्लोर पे.
Right.
तो यहाँ ऐसा सोचिए, जब प्रोग्राम रन कर रहा है, जब किसी फंक्शन को मुझे कॉल करना है तब मैं कंपाइल करूंगा ना, पहले से कंपाइल करके क्या फायदा है.
Okay.
Agree my point?
Yes.
So normally what we do is we compile the entire code and use only a part of the code. So why not compile only that part of the code which is we are actually calling?
Right.
Okay, so the just-in-time is a very advanced feature that was very lately introduced in programming languages. और कौन बाकी है? सुनीता, आपने बताया?
सर पहले ही बताया first.
Okay, so all of you have done it. Okay, Viraj.
Sir, for me it was that Python needs a virtual machine to run.
एक मिनट, विराज आप कल थे क्या? कल थे लेक्चर को?
नहीं था.
तो कल का भी सेशन देख लो जरा, because there I spoke more about Python virtual machine.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And C language can run on the machine itself. It does not require a virtual machine. And mostly all the Python flavors need that virtual machine. I think only PY no.
That also needs virtual machine.
Sir, another one was in portable.
Portable Python also requires virtual machine.
Okay. So that one, and another was JIT. Just in time.
Okay.
Yes.
So मेरा assignment पहले जो है वो जरा research करके रखिएगा. You'll be happy to know about how is it made possible. So read only about C language. That will give you enough idea as to how is it made possible in Python as well. So on that note, we'll stop here today. So have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.